An island of ice, a world of change. It starts with a check, quiet negotiations, a handshake behind closed doors. Maybe it's 1946 when President Truman actually offered $100 million to Denmark. Or maybe it happens later in the 2000s, amid rising seas and rising stakes. Either way, the United States buys Greenland, and the world shifts. Suddenly, America owns the largest island on Earth. Not just a frozen outpost, but a geopolitical goldmine. A fortress between Europe and North America, a gateway to the Arctic, a slab of land rich in rare earth minerals, untapped oil and strategic silence. The world laughs at first. Pundits call it absurd, a relic of manifest destiny. But then, it works. Greenland becomes the 51st state, or maybe a special territory like Puerto Rico with glaciers. Billions are poured into infrastructure. Ice gives way to industry. Runways expand, ports open. Military bases already there since World War II are modernized into Arctic command hubs. The island becomes a listening post for Russian submarines, Chinese shipping lanes, and climate chaos. And with that, the Arctic becomes a new front, not for war but for control. Russia bristles, Canada stirs, China watches quietly, investing in polar research, scrambling to keep up. The US, once locked out of the northern game, now owns the board. But this isn't just about geopolitics, it's about people. The 56,000 Greenlanders, mostly Inuit, don't just vanish. In this timeline, Washington can't treat them like an afterthought. They demand rights, representation, sovereignty. Washington responds awkwardly. Maybe they get a delegate in Congress. Maybe they get something more. Native voices rise louder in American politics, changing debates on climate, energy, and indigenous rights. And then there's climate change. In this timeline, the US doesn't just monitor melting ice caps, it owns them. Greenland becomes the ground zero of rising sea. As glaciers crumble into the ocean, American scientists lead the charge. Climate denial gets harder when your own territory is literally vanishing. Corporations follow. Mining giants, tech firms, clean energy startups. They see the future not in Silicon Valley but in snow. Rare earth minerals, essential for everything from iPhones to F-35s, sit beneath Greenland's surface. Once locked under ice, now exposed. The new gold rush is white and cold. Tourism booms. The Alaska of the Atlantic draws adventurers, researchers, and settlers. Reykjavik becomes a layover. Nuuk becomes a destination. But not everyone's happy. Denmark loses a crown jewel. Europe fumes at America's Arctic leap. NATO dynamics shift. The United Nations questions the ethics of territorial purchases in the 21st century. And back in the US, critics ask, was this conquest disguised as commerce? And yet, it holds. Greenland, once seen as a barren periphery, becomes central to climate, to defense, to economy, a symbol of a future no longer defined by borders, but by resources, resilience, and reach. Sometimes the most powerful empire moves not with armies, but with offers too big to ignore. And in this world, the stars and stripes fly not just over the Rockies and the Rio Grande, but over the Arctic wind and endless ice.